Man, the weather don't get much better than this. Upper 60s, clear blue sky, nice breeze blowing, cool breeze. Spring is here, and it is absolutely gorgeous, although I'm gonna miss the cold weather, not gonna lie. Got a few things I want to take you around the farm, show you updates, and then we're gonna do some painting on our board fence entranceway. So first things first, let's go look at the chickens. Mr. Rocky here is out of the pen with the rest of the chickens. We have turned him loose about, I don't know, about a week and a half ago now. As you can see, the copper Moran rooster there keeps coming at him. So Rocky, for the last 2 years, has been our dominant rooster with the chickens. And all of the other chickens knew their place, their roosters. We have like 3 more roosters in there with them. That's one of them right there. He is one of the silver lace Wyandottes. Of course, the copper Moran, and then we have one that is a cream leg bar rooster in there somewhere. But Rocky was our dominant rooster, and unfortunately, the other roosters got the best of him. They ganged up and fought him and messed up his left eye, and he cannot see out of that eye anymore. And he was in pretty rough shape. He was just kind of standing off in the corner. So we decided to turn him loose, let him live out his rest of his life here, free ranging. Now, we don't let all of our chickens free range because I don't want them wandering off into the neighbor's yard trying to figure out where they're laying eggs to collect. We just feed them grass and plants and such in the big pen that we have here, which is about 4,000 square feet if I remember right. And we're actually getting ready to expand it a little bit more. So, and we didn't want to put him down. You know, he's been our main rooster for several years. Very, very docile rooster, loves to hang out around us and stuff. And so we just decided to turn him loose. He sticks right around the pen here and kind of up around the barn. Still, he's over there with a hen now. It's kind of sad because he still wants to be doing his duties as a rooster, but the other ones won't let him. They just beat him up. So he's been doing good, and we've had a raccoon come up the other night, and we were able to kill a raccoon. It didn't bother him, so he'll probably just be our yard bird. That brings us to the pigs. So this is our new little Hereford gilt. We've got her separated from everyone else just till she kind of gets acquainted with the farm. Right, big girl? We haven't got a name for her yet, but we will soon. She's a cutie though. Yeah, she's a talker. I don't think she's a big fan of being alone, but we have her beside Brownie here, so she's got a little bit of company. Yeah, right, Brownie. Yeah, you're a good girl. So Brownie's piglets are all sleeping over there. They are 2 or 3 weeks old now, I can't remember. They're all doing great. None of them have died. They're all doing wonderful. Brownie's a good mama. I'm gonna walk around here now and let you check out Bella. So Bella is the white pig, the white sow, and she just had her babies about 3 days ago. So she's already sat on one and killed it the very first day, but so far the rest of them are doing good. Cute little guys. I think the majority of these are actually males. The other ones were about 50-50. There's a couple more. Is that little piggies? Red's just chilling out there, taking him a nap. Next, we're going to talk about Duke, the donkey, the jack that we had bought. Duke is no longer on the farm. He didn't make it 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever we had him. It wasn't long. It wasn't going to work. After that, if you saw the last video, you saw him chasing the cow and it ran into the fence and tore up the fence. And that was the second time that had happened. The first time the cow actually had went through the fence. So that wasn't working for the farm. So he's gone. Our little Jenny, she missed him for about a day bellowing, and then she went to being with the cows, and she's been hanging out with the cows ever since, and she's totally fine now and happy. So hated to do her that way, but he just was not compatible with our farm, unfortunately. And it stinks because he was so good with the kids. We were starting to work with him on teaching him to be ridden by the kids. It wasn't worth it. So we're not going to do anything right now until our Jenny's old enough. She's only about 6 or 7 months old. So once she's old enough to breed, then we'll look into maybe either getting one to breed or seeing if we can hire somebody to let us put her with one of their jacks just to breed, so she can have a baby and have herself a companion out there. But for the time being, all is calm on the farm. How's it going, guys? Now these guys are about a week from being butchered. They've grown out good. They're about 7.5 weeks old now, and just about the right size. We grow them up a little bigger than what a lot of people do. Some people butcher them at 6 weeks. We usually try to shoot for about 9, just because we've already got this much invested in them. A couple more weeks helps them get a little bigger, and they're actually easier to butcher when they're bigger. And that usually gives us about a 7-pound bird. So for the roosters anyway. The hens are always going to be a little bit lighter, which is why we usually try to get roosters. But sometimes it don't always work that way. But they'll be, yeah, that'll be, I think that's probably going to be the last batch we do for a few months, just to have a break. We've been having a constant supply of chickens every 9 to 10 weeks we butcher. So I think that's going to be good enough for us for quite a while. But I don't know if you can tell, even though it's winter time, where we've been running them, that grass is looking really, really nice. And we had 3 mornings this week where we had frost and down around 32 degrees. So even though it's late in the season, these frosts keep coming and killing off our grass. So we don't really have much growing out in the cow pasture. But we're so far so good on hay. So I'm gonna show you what we've been working on now for about the last week. Haven't done any filming on it, but inside the pole barn there, our workshop. Let's see if I can put this in wide angle. There you go. So the kids have been painting in here today. We got all of the insulation up in the roof finished finally. We used sheets, the 4x8 sheets of styrofoam. It's like an inch thick or so with foil on it, but I turned it around backwards and used the paper. And then I just ran some fern strips across the purlins of where the purlins are that the metal's screwed to, and then painted it about black, and it turned out pretty nice. Painting the walls white with primer just to help it have a nice finished clean look. I'm going to do probably raw wood, pine, like door trim, window trim around for the window unit, and then for like a sort of like a crown molding, but not. It's just a 2x4 I'm going to use up at the top for a trim piece to finish that all in. So I'm happy to finally have this to where we can start building some shelves and get all my tools moved in and put in their proper place, because I've not been organized since basically we've been living here. Everything's just kind of been thrown in here and a mess. So we'll get this done. I'm actually going to do like a painted floor, kind of like that gray epoxy type stuff where you paint it on and sprinkle the stuff like you do in a garage. I'm going to do that on the floor just to help with keeping it clean, dust, that sort of thing. And I'll probably run like a 2x6 around the floor just for like a baseboard. And that should finish it off. We'll get a couple more lights and hang in here. It'll brighten it up, and we'll be able to So do quite a bit of work in here. This barn has been a project for us for 3 or 4 years now. Just doing a little bit at a time as we could afford it. We put it up. It was up for probably 1.5 years or so before we ever poured a slab under it. And just now, almost done with that workshop part, which I am so excited about. But give me a place to set everything up in its place and it can stay and be organized. That's going to be awesome. We do have most of our garden planted. It is a little bit early, but you kind of have to do that here in northern Florida, because once spring gets here, we pretty much jump from our winter time straight into summer. So you can see right there, those are all corn plants. So we did a double row in each of the rows of corn all the way down. They're like, I don't know, 40 feet, I think, 42 feet, something like that long. So we have a lot of this is corn and then a lot of green beans over that direction. So we thankfully didn't lose anything with the frosts this week. It all seems to be sprouting and doing fine, because it wasn't like a hard freeze. So the broccoli is just about done. This was probably some of the worst broccoli that we've ever grown. After the initial pick, a lot of these little guys will come back, which, that's fine. Whatever. But considering this amount of plants, the amount of plants that we have, we did not get very much at all. So that was a little disappointing, but we'll probably pick, well, some of this is way past needing to be picked. You can see it flowering. So probably get this picked today, and then we'll probably go ahead and pull these up and feed them to the animals. Now, the orange tree, look at all the blossoms on this thing. It is loaded. So this is a red navel. I think they call them Cara oranges or something like that, but they are delicious. This one got cooked last year when it got down to 17. It knocked it all the way down and killed it. But it ended up coming back right above the graft. The graft's right here. And it came back from up here. So that was awesome. The lemon tree didn't do so well. I cut it down this week, but this was what came back of the lemon tree. That was below the graft. But I actually am trying something. So I have never grafted anything before in my life. I watched some videos, and this rootstock is really good. So I took some cuttings off of the red navel and grafted those onto here. So we shall see. It's been about 4 or 5 days since I did that, and they're still green. I made this cardboard box to put over top. That way it can still get airflow around it, but it's protected from the sun. So we shall see how that works. And the blueberry plants are loaded as well. Look at all those blooms. All of them are doing great. Now this has kind of been let go, but I do have some landscape fabric, and we're getting ready to come in here and rip all this grass out, put some landscape fabric down and some pine bark, and get these all fixed back up. But they're doing good. So this was built a couple years ago, and the wood's weathered quite a bit, and I want it to last, so we're going to go ahead and throw a coat of paint on here. Just some black fence paint, both sides. Make sure you get your edges too, okay? All right, Bree, you want to try it?
I will.
Come here. So what you're going to do is I'm going to put in the paint, but we don't want to put the whole thing, just maybe up to half at the most. And then you're going to come over here and just paint back and forth. Don't push the brush. Just back and forth, just like that, okay? So let's come over here where you're not in the paint. All right, I'm gonna help you. Here, let's slide up here. right, let's get some more paint. Oh, you want to use your left hand instead?
Yeah.
I forgot you're a lefty. Brianna's a lefty. That's not good. I'm teasing. Nope, don't push with it. You always want to make sure you're doing it like that, okay? It'll mess the bristles up otherwise. Yep. You're getting it. He's thinking about it, but all right, let's get some more paint. Let me get you some more paint. Okay. All right. Let me smooth this out a little bit. Got a few runs here. Well, that does it. I like it a lot. Both sides. It's hard to tell with this side because the sun's behind us, behind the fence, but it turned out good. I'm happy with that. I think the cows approve too. They've kind of moseyed over here, but they were just over there admiring the work. And I think they approve. And one of them, I think it was Charlotte, was voicing a little bit of concern over there with the bucket. She didn't like the bucket too much, but well, I think I'm going to go get the brushes cleaned up and get myself cleaned up. Just like with anything, anytime I paint, I get as much on me as I get on whatever I'm trying to paint. So thank y'all for watching. We'll see you next time.